In the history of chess, few rivalries feel as intense, dramatic, and psychologically fascinating as the encounters between Mikhail Tal and Bobby Fischer. This was not just a battle of moves on a chessboard, it was a collision of two completely different minds. On one side stood Mikhail Tal, the magician from Riga, a player who sacrificed pieces as if they were illusions, attacking not just the position but the opponent's confidence. On the other side was Bobby Fischer, the American prodigy, cold, precise, and obsessed with absolute correctness. When Tal and Fischer faced each other, the games were never ordinary. They were explosive, emotional, and deeply symbolic of two opposing philosophies of chess. This game marked one of the earliest iconic clashes between Bobby Fischer and Mikhail Tal, at a time when Tal was rapidly rising as the most feared attacking player in the world. Fischer entered the game with confidence, choosing a principled opening aimed at long-term positional pressure. Tal, however, steered the position into sharp, unbalanced territory, exactly where he felt most comfortable. As the middle game unfolded, Tal began introducing tactical threats that forced Fischer to calculate deeply on every move. One inaccurate decision was all Tal needed. He sacrificed material to open lines against Fischer's king, creating a storm of complications. Under relentless pressure, Fischer eventually cracked, and Tal converted his attack into a decisive victory. This game announced Tal as a psychological force, capable of overpowering even the most disciplined minds. Bled, 1961, one of the strongest tournaments ever assembled. Fischer faced Tal in a game that highlighted a different side of Tal's genius. Fischer pressed hard from the opening, slowly building a positional advantage and trying to restrict Tal's activity. For many moves, it looked as though Fischer had full control. But Tal defended with incredible precision, absorbing pressure without panicking. Gradually, he began to activate his pieces, turning defense into counterattack. The balance shifted almost unnoticed. Fischer, now under pressure himself, made small concessions, and Tal seized the initiative. The game ended with Tal outplaying Fischer in a complex endgame, proving that he was not only a tactical wizard, but also a resilient and resourceful defender. This game is often remembered as Fischer's revenge. Facing Tal again, Fischer came extremely well prepared, choosing a line that minimized Tal's attacking chances. Tal attempted to create complications, but Fischer remained calm and precise, neutralizing every threat. When Tal sacrificed material to stir chaos, Fischer accepted it confidently, trusting his calculation. Slowly but surely, Fischer converted his material advantage, squeezing Tal with technical accuracy. There were no spectacular sacrifices this time, only relentless pressure and flawless execution. Fischer's victory sent a clear message. Against perfect play, even Tal's magic could be contained. At the Leipzig Olympiad, Tal and Fischer produced another memorable battle. Tal played aggressively from the start, immediately aiming for an imbalanced structure. Fischer responded with energetic counterplay, leading to a razor-sharp middle game. Both kings were exposed, and tactics dominated the board. Tal unleashed a series of sacrifices that forced Fischer into a defensive shell. Although Fischer resisted bravely, the continuous threats drained his time and energy. Eventually, Tal broke through, finishing the game with a brilliant tactical sequence. This encounter became a textbook example of Tal's ability to turn chaos into victory. This later encounter showed a more mature version of both players. Fischer, now at the peak of his strength, played with immense confidence and control. Tal still looked for dynamic chances, but Fischer anticipated most of them. The game revolved around subtle maneuvering rather than immediate tactics. When the critical moment arrived, Fischer seized the initiative with exact calculation, forcing Tal into passive defense. This encounter at the 1960 Candidates Tournament showed a thrilling duel between Tal's aggressive style and Fischer's precise calculation. The game ended in Fischer's favor, highlighting how deeply he had evolved and how effectively he had learned to neutralize Tal's attacking instincts. From the opening, Tal steered the game into sharp, tactical waters, sacrificing pawns and even a piece to open lines against Fischer's king. Fischer defended meticulously, refusing to panic under pressure. However, Tal's relentless initiative gradually overwhelmed him. With stunning combinations and unexpected threats, Tal forced Fischer into a passive position, eventually converting the attack into a decisive win. This game is often cited as one of Tal's masterpieces, highlighting his ability to turn complex, dangerous positions into unforgettable victories against even the most disciplined opponents. In classical chess, Mikhail Tal and Bobby Fischer met 13 times in official tournament games. Out of these, Tal won 4 games, while Fischer won 2, and 5 games were drawn, giving Tal a slight edge overall. Tal's early successes came largely from his dominant performance in the 1959 candidates, where he beat Fischer multiple times with tactical brilliance. Fischer's victories, though fewer, showed his growing strength as a precise and strategic player later in their rivalry. The draw percentage also reflects how closely matched these two legends were across their encounters. This classical record highlights Tal's imaginative attacking edge and Fischer's solid resilience and calculation. Mikhail Tal and Bobby Fischer were not just champions. They were legends whose battles over the board created some of the most thrilling moments in chess history. In the 6 classical games we explored, both players had their share of victories, with Tal dazzling the world with his fearless attacks and Fischer demonstrating incredible precision and strategic control. Every game tells a story, from sudden sacrifices to perfectly calculated defenses, showing how two completely different styles can clash brilliantly. Their encounters continue to inspire chess enthusiasts, offering lessons in creativity, courage, and deep thinking. The legacy of Tal and Fischer reminds us that chess is as much about imagination as it is about calculation. If you enjoyed this journey through their iconic games, don't forget to subscribe for more historic chess insights and detailed analyses.